Hey everybody, we're here for a new episode of Five for Talking. I'm here with Caps, the captain of the show, the muscles and the sauce. Let's just jump right into this one. We're gonna mix up some Leafs and NHL here. We won't do a split episode this week. From the NHL side, I just wanted to say Boston finally lost at home. Mind you, it was an overtime loss, and a lot of people don't think those count as losses. Do you count those as losses?
No,
Yeah, like
no,
I do.
because when you go, yeah, I guess. I mean, like when you're going into the playoffs, there is no such thing as 3-on-3. So, I mean, I guess I could see I could see their point of view.
Right? Because like in the old days when we had ties, you still had to get through overtime to get that tie to make it a tie, right? Now you're just granted the tie as soon as you get overtime and you're playing for an extra point. I mean, I can see people's reasoning behind it, but it is what it is. They also lost in Phoenix. Phoenix is a weird team this year, or Arizona, I should say. They're definitely not good, but they've most of their wins came against really good teams.
That's true. But I mean, going back to your last point, I mean, if you're a team in the NHL, do you spend a lot of time trying to win in 3 versus 3 overtime, or do you try and finish people off during the regular, during the 60 minutes that you have? But yeah, I mean, it's very debatable.
I mean, I can agree with that because technically, if you lose in overtime 82 times in a season, you have 82 points, even though you lost 82 times.
Yeah, doesn't necessarily guarantee you a playoff spot,
but you're close to a playoff spot
close,
already,
yeah.
right? So if you take away, if you win 10 of those games,
Yeah,
you have 92 points now. All of a sudden, you're a playoff team.
yeah. Correct. They lost to the Arizona Coyotes. Does it make Boston necessarily? Is this sort of a step back for Boston? Not really.
It looks bad, but I don't think they lost any momentum from it.
No,
They had to
no.
lose eventually, right? And at least it wasn't at home. The overtime loss, that was at home, and they faced a good team. I believe it was Vegas or LA that beat them at home.
Yeah, is it the start of something concerning? Maybe, but
Well,
as
they
of
couldn't
right
stay hot
now,
forever, right?
no, you're absolutely right. Same goes for Jersey, and same goes for Vegas. Same goes for Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas already seems like they're kind of losing their footing. Like
Yeah,
even when they're winning, they're not. They don't look the greatest.
yeah. Ottinger kind of looks a little off the last little bit. But yeah, I mean, and you know, same thing for the Leafs too, man. Like it's not going to last forever.
Oh,
Man.
we already know this because the
Yeah,
Leafs came into the season with a horrible start.
absolutely.
Um, they're on fire right now.
They are
So
on fire.
they won 4-0, 5-0, and 5-4 in the last three games they played. This is being filmed on Sunday. That's 14 goals forward and 4 goals against in 3 games, which is pretty amazing. And
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
last night's game was a little off. Like they were
yeah,
back,
yeah. I agree.
but they got the win, so that's all that matters. You know what I
Hey,
mean?
2 goals and 3 assists for your favorite hockey player, William Nylander.
Yep. I mean, you know, he's got to work on his offense because he definitely won't work on his defense.
Yeah,
So
that's one of the fairest assessments of him you've ever had. But it's true. If you're not going to contribute defensively, you need to score goals.
yeah, that goes with all of them. I mean, if you're going to spend 75% of the time in the ozone, then might as well make it work. You know what I mean? Kind of, kind of funny to me that they're giving him penalty killing time, which I find pretty comical.
But I've always felt like the Leafs penalty kill is their goal is to score.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
always weirdly felt that way. Like the goal is to like get a breakout and score a goal.
I think they led the league last year in shorthanded goals. If I
It,
remember correctly.
if it's been since Sheldon Keefe has been there, that's how I feel like they planned the penalty kill.
Yeah.
Even with like Kerfoot, like yes, Kerfoot is a good defender, but he's out there because he's fast and you think he's going to get a breakout and score a goal.
It's funny you mentioned Kerfoot's name, man. Talk about a guy that just looks out of place on his team, man. I know we brought it up last episode, but
but he
like,
no longer fits on this roster.
yeah, I mean, do you try and make a deal? Do you try and get rid of that contract?
Well, like we
Like,
said, the most plausible trades are going to involve Kerfoot, Engvall, and maybe Justin Hall, which at this point, I don't think you're trading Hall.
no, you can't.
And I think if I do bring something back, I'm bringing back maybe a young guy and a defenseman. Like,
I mean, I think Hall is sort of played out of the trade talks for the next little bit.
yes, but I think just logistically as a team, you can't trade defensemen.
No, right-handed defenseman.
Yeah, exactly.
But like, you named three players there, and it seems as though Kerfoot would probably be at the top of the list.
And it's funny because in the preseason, I would have fought to the death to not trade Kerfoot.
Yeah, he definitely played very well during the preseason. But honestly, right now, I would have to take Engvall over Kerfoot right now, because
I think both of them are worth moving contract wise, especially if you can bring in someone that costs the $6 million combined that they cost or whatever it is, because that's a pretty good defenseman. And if you're a lower tier team or a team that's like on the cusp or trying to rebuild, adding Kerfoot and Engvall is a helpful two pieces. It's on a contending team right now where they don't fit. And Kerfoot has contributed nothing defensively, and that's his thing.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Going back to the defense for the Leafs, I mean, you had a few defensemen go down, but all those other guys stepped up, and totally beneficial for them to have this sort of playing time and to really contribute, because this is definitely going to be beneficial for them going into the playoffs. You know what I mean? I mean, it's sort of like a blessing in disguise, so to speak, because Hall has picked up his game, and Giordano, I mean, like, the guys turned back the clock, man. Like, it's amazing to see. Brody came back and he's playing well, but I think the real standouts right now are Liljegren and Sandin, because Sandin was not playing well when he first came into the season this year.
Oh, I agree.
And yeah, this is really cool to see. Haven't seen a lot of the new guy, Timmins, I believe.
Yeah.
It looks like he's fitting in okay. But yeah, I mean, I can go on and on. But
Go ahead. I mean, can we talk about Matt Murray and that shutout?
Matt Murray in that shutout, probably the best game he's ever had. And the very next game was probably the best game Samsonov ever had.
Yeah.
Those guys, I'm really happy about Matt Murray, coming out of a couple of really crappy seasons with Ottawa, health-wise, injury-wise, and he's looking like, he's really going to help this team out. And Samsonov, same thing, man. He didn't really have any health concerns, but just came back from an injury, and to pull that off, hey, man, good on him. And man, that's a really good duo they got going on right now, man, because they were pretty written off, and myself included. I was, Matt Murray, I wasn't too high on him when he first came through, and when Samsonov coming through, you were really the one that was really high on Samsonov. That kind of changed my mind. But it's really cool, man. It's really, really cool.
Yeah. Giordano wise, you said it earlier. I just want to bring it back to that. How you said that he looks like he's turned back the clock. It's strange to me that, like, most players nowadays keep themselves in really good shape. Your Alex Ovechkins, Sidney Crosby's. Giordano's no different. He's a very hard worker. Apparently, he has like a Gary Roberts-like work ethic.
Wow.
But it's weird when you see guys like him at his age doing what he's doing, and then you see guys like Joe Thornton who just like stop being able to move at all at like 35 years old. I find that really strange. You have like Patrick Marleau that looked really good out there, and then you have like Jason Spezza was in good shape, but he like lost his ability to go. You know what I mean? Like he
Mhm.
just couldn't skate anymore. But he still contributed pretty well. So I'm not going to knock Jason Spezza for that. But yeah, Giordano looks great.
Yeah, Giordano looks great.
And on that
They all look
contract,
pretty good.
that contract is mental for the
Yeah,
Leafs.
total steal. And he's got another year.
He's going to play for sure.
If he's going to play like that, sure, why not, man? Yeah, I mean, Nylander's got, we're talking about contracts. Nylander's got 2 more years on his contract. What do you do?
And he has a declining contract as well, right? It's his contract steadily goes downwards in its salary, I believe.
What do you do after that contract's done? What do you
You
give
don't
him?
re-sign him.
You don't resign him? What do you
No,
think he'll go for?
he's still in his prime. He's going to get a contract from one of those teams, those big market teams that's trying to make a real push, and it's going to be like in the $8 million range. And the Leafs can't pay that. They shouldn't pay that.
I think he'll push for like 9.
Okay, well,
I think
9.
he'll push for 9, 10, man.
Yeah,
Like, it'll be
I'll
crazy.
take it. But either way, if I'm the Leafs, I can't pay more than 7.5 million. 7.4 is where I draw the line for Nylander.
7.4.
And they still can't pay that. So
Do you think there's a possibility that they might go for a bridge until Tavares' contract expires? Because
no, because Nylander won't
doubt.
take it.
Hmm?
Nylander won't take it a bridge. There's no way. He knows that he can get paid. And the Leafs don't need him. And I know that sounds bad, but like if your goal here is to win, you need to make sure one of those 2 goalies is locked up. You need to make sure Matthews and Marner are locked up. And you need to sign a massive defenseman to a big ass contract. You let Tavares go when his contract's over, and you let Nylander walk when his contract's over, and you rebuild around Riley, the new defenseman, Matthews, Marner, and that goalie, whichever goalie you keep.
Yeah, because that frees up about $11 million.
Robertson is going to eventually be another Nylander, I think.
Man, that guy just can't stay healthy. He can't catch a break. I mean, the one thing that he definitely needs to do, he needs to bulk up a little bit, man.
Yeah, he's a smaller player.
But he just gets out-muscled by everyone.
But his brother is such a talent.
Well, unfortunately,
his junior years were good as well. Like Nick Robertson was a solid player. His name is Nick, so you got to like him automatically.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the last maybe 4 years, man. The guy's been getting some like really heavy setbacks with like some serious injuries, shoulders, knees, whatever.
They need to restock the pipeline, and the Leafs have done decently well drafting prospects deep into the draft. They're one of the more successful teams pulling players out of the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round and turning them into like main roster guys. So I'm hoping that continues. But I do think there's something, you got to make some kind of move here. And I know a lot of teams will be interested in Nylander, but I don't think you make a deadline move with Nylander. I think you hold on to Nylander. Yeah.
No, I don't think so. That's my opinion. Sorry, I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I think if anything, if you're going to trade him, you do it in the offseason this year.
It's a possibility. It all depends on how they do, how well they do this season. I mean, if knock on wood, if they do really well this year, I would imagine that they're probably going to hold on to him until his contract is up.
Like I said, the goal has to be to win, obviously.
Yeah.
But if they don't make a conference finals appearance this year, a lot of people are gone. The entire front office is gone, except for Shanahan, probably. And
I don't agree with.
The whole coaching team is probably gone as well. But should they make it to the conference finals, whether they win or not, I believe that all you're going to get in this entire organization is a couple of small tweaks, and that's it.
Yeah. Do you think they'll use the cap space that they have available to them? Because I highly doubt that Muzzin's going to come back.
No, I believe they're gonna buy out Muzzin.
ASAP, or do they put him
After
on
the
the
season.
okay? But
Whether they do,
did they use the cap space, like the cap space that they have because of this contract? Did they use it for a depth signing for a couple?
no, I genuinely think they're gonna target a big defenseman. I'm not sure who's available this year in free agency. We'll save that for another episode, but I do think Morgan Riley's time is slowly coming to an end. Mind you, I don't think you move him. But I think they need to bring in another star defenseman to play along with him or to lead the second unit. Because, I mean, Brody's good, but he's not a star. No, there's no one else that's a star on our defensive team. Sandin and Liljegren have the potential to get there. But mind you, you have them for both for another season after this.
Yeah, I mean, because of all these injuries, it shows the coaching staff and the management that they don't need Riley.
Yeah, we talked about that last episode.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't think that he's made a difference at all in this season.
Yeah, but like as a depth, as
he's not someone you want to just get rid of.
Yeah, unless he changes his playing style, and I know we talked about before, but he's got to work on those giveaways. Like, he can't give up the puck like that.
He needs the offense. The offense is firing on all cylinders right now.
Yeah.
You don't need your defenseman to also play offense. Make smart plays, play defense.
Yeah, just contribute, but do it smart.
Stop pinching.
Yeah.
Use your power skating abilities to skate backwards and save the goals. I mean, yeah, I don't really have anything else Leafs related.
Leafs related. Simmons. Does he get traded by the end of the year?
Yeah, trade deadline. 100% to a contender, a Colorado or a New York Rangers, someone like that.
I think based on last night's game, I think it just looks as though his time with the Leafs is coming to an end because he gave up 2 bad penalties for no reason whatsoever.
It's a good example of what I was talking about actually before with the Giordano thing. He doesn't have that go anymore. He doesn't. He can still skate, but he doesn't have that like raw athleticism anymore. He's just out there contributing in the smallest ways possible.
Yeah, which is surprising because in the preseason he looked okay, and
yeah, he did.
He just lost it altogether.
Something must have happened because they gave up on him almost immediately when the season started. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe all that time in the press box, he just lost all his motivation or whatever it is, man, because he just really lost out there. I mean, I do you think? Yeah, you know what? We're good. We'll just leave it at that. We'll just leave it at that.
Well, I have one more thing, not Leafs related. So Alex Ovechkin currently has 16 goals. Oh. He's on pace for, I believe it was 35 or 36 this season. No, 37 goals, which is still a lot. He's on pace to get 82 points in the 82 games.
What a beast.
It's pretty ridiculous, right? He currently has 796 goals. So let's say he's on pace for, he's going to pass 800. So he would be on pace for 817 goals this season.
He's going to pass Gordie Howe this season. No.
Yes. What is Gordie Howe? 801?
801 or 803, one of those. I can't remember.
But he should be, if his pace stays up, he'll get to like 815, 817. Which that's, you're not far off anymore.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous, man. Like, I mean, I think me, you, and Bargo, we've talked about it before, and a few of us doubted it, and sometimes we were like,
it was definitely me. I was a huge doubter until last season. Last season is what turned me around. The fact that, because I was like, there's no way he's going to get another 50-goal season after coming off a 24-goal season. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that 50-goal closed the gap so much.
And I was totally on your side because that shortened season kind of scared me a little bit because it was time taken away from him, and that
and it was a double shortened seasons, right? Yeah. We lost two half seasons almost.
Yeah, but he's what, like 37, 36?
37.
Still has a couple years left, man. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
He can last till 41, 42.
I,
For
I,
sure.
no doubt, no doubt. I think he wants to. I think he wants to break this record, no matter how long it takes. He's gonna, stay playing until it happens. This is one of those records that everybody thought that was gonna be unbreakable, and look at that. Look what
It
happened.
will be now. It will be after Ovechkin.
Yeah, this is really cool. This is historic, and we'll have to reevaluate. And
You want my take on this?
sure,
He's going to play until he scores the 900th goal, and then no matter what happens, he's going to retire. If he hits 900 mid-season, he's going to sit out the rest of that season.
that'll be really cool, man. That'll be really cool. I mean, I guess what we'll have to do is reevaluate and see which records are actually not actually unbreakable, because this is pretty much off the list now.
Yeah. Hey, we can do a whole episode about that pretty soon.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Let us know if you think Ovechkin will break the record in the comments, and have a good one.